had a chapel that stood here, a little Greek-style temple. It's a big lobby because you go through here, and the minister lived in the basement on site. So he was like.
Hello guys, my name is Lee and welcome to our channel. We have got a very rare opportunity for you guys where we are going inside the catacombs at Key Hill Cemetery. I am here with Claire, Ian and Alan, and we are going to give you a once in a lifetime opportunity only here at Roach Productions. This video is going to be so different to our normal videos as we are going to take you on a guided tour. So we hope you enjoy Key Hill Cemetery and enjoy the video, and if you do enjoy the video, please like, subscribe to the channel as we have got some great videos coming to this channel very, very soon. So here's the footage.
Poor, so you poor village people doing, but when they changed the poor laws, they had to start employing staff. So they became employees of the cemetery company. Because if they were sealed, then they explode, because the gases expand. So they have a small bin, so they would have been rather smelly. Imagine they're open to the air, they did smell. That was another reason they went out of fashion. Because on the continent where the idea of catacombs really came from, Père de Chay and catacombs in Rome tend to be drier, so they don't rot as badly, they tend to desiccate more, like mummified. Whereas here, in the wet climates, you just went mouldy. We're going to go inside now. Not sure when they were emptied. The guess is that it was during the Second World War, because these were used as air raid shelters. And you wouldn't particularly want to be in here in an air raid with a bunch of coffins. Yeah. So we think that they were rapidly moved. Where to? We don't know. Possibility is that they're buried behind that wall there, but the original plans show that this did stop more or less in this location. This is Henry Irving Van Wart. The Van Wart family were American, but Henry Van Wart Senior, his great-grandfather, was only American by a few weeks, because he was born just after the Declaration of Independence. So he became British, but he had to, by Act of Parliament. So you had to apply to the Parliament to be granted British status, and eventually came to live in the Quarter. And he married Washington Irving's sister. So Washington Irving is the author who wrote Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. And actually both of those, although they're classic American novels, were written in the Jewellery Quarter. And the house was in Frederick Street, where the Albion Works is, what is now the Penn Museum, the big Italianate building. There was the house of the Van Warts. And they were merchants. They brought and sold stuff in America, and they sold a lot of Birmingham metalworks and equipment and all that sort of stuff to the Americas. And they were fantastically rich. These big plaques on the wall are publics. We're not quite sure where the bodies are. They may be in one possibility is that they're in the lower level, and so what they did was they just sold off single spaces, or there are potentially big vaults outside. There's a couple of areas that we think that there might be, but again, it's a lot of research to try and find where all these people are. There's one down here which is one split up. That back there is off this wall here, and you can see that where they had to take the bricks out at some point to put the next bodies in. And so these ones back onto the ones you see on the front mirror this. So there's actually two here. So they were living a back to back, and you're not buried in a back to back. And that is actually an original beam. So that is at least 100 years old. We're not sure when the last interments in the vaults were. We've only had limited access for the last 2 years. And obviously we've had the pandemic and we don't have regular access in here.
Before that, when were they?
70s. We know it's the 70s because we found 70s crisp packets. Unlike Waterstone Lane, which is fairly clean, this was loads of rubbish. There was tiled rubbish, old lawn mowers, gardeners had used it for their storage, oil cans, loads and loads of stuff. But yeah, there was some. There was no, basketballs over the road. Easy Waterstone. Yeah, wonderful. There was talk of moving in here because this is unconsecrated ground.
But he's already been.
But he'd been consecrated over there, but there wasn't enough of him to move. But they came to moving. They said there wasn't enough to move. So originally there would have been, like I say, 40 or 50 foot of sun above our heads. But also when they quoted that away, what they ended up doing was they put some skylights in. So there's one there, and there's another one down the bottom. But yeah, there was some. There was a basketballs over the road. Easy Waterstone. Yeah, by default. There was talk of moving in here because this is unconsecrated ground.
He's already been.
But he'd been consecrated over there, but there wasn't enough of him to move. But they came to moving. They said there wasn't enough to move. So originally there would have been, like I say, 40 or 50 foot of sun above our heads. But obviously when they quoted that away, what they ended up doing was they put some skylights in. So there's one there, and there's another one down the bottom. And these are really useful because that one there, you can see it's been covered over now, but that had started to collapse. So above here, if you go up above the top, you'll see some park benches. By one of those, a hole opened up. And then because they were worried about, was the whole thing going to collapse or whatever, they had to break in. So that step you walked over, that concrete step, was 2 breeze blocks and a brick wall. Because in the 70s they made sure that nobody was getting back in. Talking tens of thousands because they had to gain access to investigate what this hole was.
Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. You can see that.
About 100 grand, roughly.
Yeah, you've got to think of. We always think, how long did you have to work to earn the money to pay that? So you're talking, a couple of years salary, so 30, 40 grand maybe. And family contributions, over 200 headstones across the 2 cemeteries, majority of them in Key Hill. To put that in context, West Norwood, which is one of the big London cemeteries, have done what? It was a mausoleum and did cost them a couple of $100 grand, but they haven't restored any of their family graves. So, for the size of group we are, we're punching well above our head. And they cost a couple of £100 for a headstone, and we pay by the join. So, if it's smashed into 15 pieces, it's never going to get done because it's going to cost us too much. But if it's 2 or 3 pieces, we can get them done. So, the money we're raising from doing this today, but they're the same masons that we use to do our restorations. So we have to get a big chunk of them because they're based in Wales. So they send the team over, put them in digs for a week, and they come and do all of our restorations. To date, the Friends have funded with donations, money from tours, and family contributions, over 200 headstones across the 2 cemeteries. Majority of them in Key Hill. Well, it depends, but here it's, that's why most people are cremated. You can't afford to be buried. Yeah. But saying that,
even cremations
cremations are expensive as well, but not to the same extent as of a burial plot. No, in family graves outside, because because of the space, and they've got the things. No. because it's wet, there are some flat slabs, these flat monuments with sleeves on. Don't stand on them because you'll end up on your arms.
Okay.
But they are extremely steep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So this is standard. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, you got his first wife, second wife, and then at the bottom he's just sort of an afterthought.
Yeah.
These graves seem a bit close though.
This is what the whole cemetery should. This is what the whole cemetery should look like.
Oh,
4 foot, 6 foot,
So they're pretty
6
much
foot 6 by
close.
4 foot 6.
so they're pretty much toe to toe. With the top and
Yeah.
tailing like we
Yeah.
used to when we was
But
kids.
also the fact is that here, because they're using these what are called ledger slabs, you fill the grave. Whereas if you've just got an upright stone, you get a bit of, you see a bit of space around it or curbs or whatever. You don't fill it. But with these flat slabs, it looks closer than that than
I was just
the
thinking,
other
how would
bits. But these are.
I was just thinking, how would the relatives come? 'Cause obviously, nowadays you see people going to visit their
Yeah.
relatives. And,
Well, when his funeral was here, all this was boarded out. You can there are some photographs of it taken up from what was the Sandcliffe. Yeah, you just have to fight your way through. That's Joe's dad, by the way. That's Follett Osler, glass manufacturer. Did the 2 glass paintings for the Great Exhibition. J.H. Chamberlain, who designed Highbury Hall, home of Joseph Chamberlain, and the School of Art in Market Street.
That's the one with the
The one with
Pictures
the,
on-
the,
oh,
four,
is that-
the Four Seasons, that's J.H. Chamberlain.
Four Seasons,
Yeah. Richard Chamberlain, Lord Mayor of Birmingham. We've got 12 Lord Mayors and counting. We are still digging more up. That's 12 Lord Mayors. We've also got loads of mayors as well. Because you have a different mayor every year, so so you get through a few. You get through a few. The large box one there in the obelisk is the Barnsley family. Barnsley was the general that raised the Powell's battalions at the First World War.
Can I ask another question as well? Some of the graves have got a symbol, I think it was ECT or something like that. They look like alpha letters, but the alphabet
yeah.
mixed
I
together.
think it's something to do with Christ, and so although they are non-conformists, they do still believe in Jesus. So some of them have that. It's something to do with the inscription over the when he was crucified. I believe, but I don't know. I'm not that religious, so I don't know all the symbolism. Most of the symbolism falls in one or two categories. You're dead and you're gone, or it's life eternal.
Okay guys, that was a very rare opportunity to actually go inside the catacombs here in Keyhill. I mean, this cemetery doesn't get used anymore. And, I mean, you got loads of Lord Mayors here, Lord Mayors of Birmingham. I mean, it's quite mad really, you know. We know it's during the day, but Alan's walking around now with the EMF reader. So hopefully we can pick up something paranormal in the cemetery. I mean, we don't know if we got anything in the catacombs, any orb activity and stuff. We have to check the video footage for that. But it's I'll be surprised if there's no paranormal like entity or entities here, to be fair. So what do you guys think of this place and what we've just done?
The Catacombs was pretty cool and it was an interesting tour.
Yeah. It's informative.
Definitely worth like coming along and giving it a go.
Yeah. I mean, it was very different, wasn't it? Really, compared to what we normally
It's a shame
do.
they weren't all opened up. Well, it was interesting to find out that they had an underground.
Yeah.
Especially like that author as well.
Yeah.
What was his name? Henry Irving Van something?
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be bigger.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to be fair, it was closed off, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. I mean, like, as you said, the downstairs have been closed down because due to safety.
Mm.
And the fact that it was full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, human remains was literally standing in front of loads of human remains. It's quite mad, really.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting to find out that author wrote Spooky Hollow and it was based in the Jewellery Quarter.
I know, yeah.
I think I'm going to read that.
That's kind of mad though, really, you know, because he was like known in America, wasn't he? American
He was
author?
born in America, but only come over here, was it like 3 weeks? He had to turn into a British.
Oh yeah, that
nationalist.
was it, wasn't it? Because he just missed out on the
Yes.
decoration.
Yeah, just missed out, yeah.
Yeah. It's quite mad, isn't it, really?
It's interesting though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely really
Especially
interesting.
when you live in the area.
Yeah.
This area has actually got a lot of history to it. It's just no one knows of it anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's, unfortunately, places like this now.
I mean, how many people knew that the catacombs was used for World War II bunkers?
Well, yeah.
Air raid shelters.
I wouldn't have thought that, to be fair.
Yeah, no, that is like really interesting
Yeah, you just
I
information,
would have
really.
thought it'd be disrespectful in a sense, but on the other hand, you had to use what space you had.
Well, it kind of makes sense though, being underground. Okay, so I've lost Alan, so I need to go and have a walk and see if I can find him. So, I mean, what do you guys think of the videos and the catacombs and stuff and this cemetery? I mean, would you guys come and visit? Would you go on the tour? You know, I mean, like I say, it's pretty fascinating, really, you know, and I know this is the paranormal channel, not the history one, but I mean, sometimes it's good to know about cemeteries. You know, especially like if you're a paranormal investigator, because you know like who's here, or you know what person or what entity you could be coming in contact with. So this one, why we set up the history channel, you know, learning about, you know, the different places where we go and stuff. And because, you know, it kind of one falls in line with the other, you know, and yeah, I mean, honestly guys, you need to come down here and see this place, you know, but my advice is come down when it's drier.